Bet365, bringing football alive.
In the Coca-Cola Championship, it's Sunderland against Burnley. Commentators Chris Kamara and Bill Leslie.
It's very much in Sunderland's own hands, and that is all down to the work done by that man. The transformation on every level at Sunderland Football Club has been extraordinary, for the success on the pitch to the reigniting of the passion of it. 45,000 people expected here. That's 20,000 more than when he first came to this club to see the victory here against West Bromwich Albion back in August. I know Niall Quinn as well, Chris, has done a lot of work off the field to try and get the fans coming back. Well, it's worked.
Well, it's a superb job that Niall's done. He said he was bringing in a world-class manager. When he brought in Roy Keane, everybody said, but he hasn't managed before.
A big loss for English football this week, shaken by the loss of Alan Ball, and before kick-off we'll have a moment's appreciation.
On the referee's whistle.
What a man, Bill. I played for Alan at Stoke City, knew him well, and what a round of applause that was by the Stoke City fans, the Sunderland fans, I should say.
A fitting tribute to England's youngest World Cup winner of 1966. Two games to go in the Coca-Cola Championship. 2 wins and Sunderland will be a Premiership club once more. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But after their first defeat of 2007, what sort of a reaction are we going to see here in front of their biggest crowd of the season?
What a crowd as well. Listen to that atmosphere. They're willing that ball into the back of the net already.
Burnley come here in the form of their season, 5 wins in their last 6 games, and not just any old games as well. They've been to St Andrews and upset Birmingham. They've beaten Cardiff City when they still harboured ambitions of getting into the playoffs. And of course on Monday they derailed West Bromwich Albion's promotion push.
Well, they're playing fantastic at the moment.
And Sunderland are no slouches, and this is Carlos Edwards, right up there in the running for their player of the season. Liam Miller, one of the 3 players recalled to Sunderland's starting lineup. Work for Thomas to do, up against Anthony Stokes. But Sunderland have surrendered it. Burnley all in claret, look to come forward. Stokes has won it back though for the Black Cats. John Harley with the challenge.
Just what the crowd needed early on, was to see 1 or 2 players winning a couple of challenges.
Connolly. Carlos Edwards. It's going to be a busy night, you sense, for John Harley at left back. He's got the better of the Trinidad and Tobago international that particular time. This is Simpson. Big boost for Sunderland to have one of their on-loan Manchester United youngsters back and available. Of course, not the only reason, Chris, last week, but it's the first time in 10 games that their back five, if you include the goalkeeper, has been interrupted, and it's the only time they've lost.
Yeah, no coincidence there then, is there? But I like him, Simpson, like him a lot. So Alex Ferguson doesn't outbreed him good, and him and Evans are top draw.
Plenty of added spice for Burnley, although we heard Steve Cotterill say beforehand it's not in his mind the fact he spent an unsuccessful spell here as Howard Wilkinson's assistant. He returns to the Stadium of Light, so too Stephen Caldwell. There was surplus to requirements for Roy Keane earlier on this season, and Andy Gray, an unhappy year for him last year. Just the one goal in 22 appearances as Sunderland were relegated from the Premiership. This is Eric Djemba trying to get the ball into the mix for Burnley.
Well, they haven't come here to lose. That's one thing for certain, Burnley. They'll give it a real go. They're in good form. Like I said earlier, they owe their manager after that run. They owe their supporters.
Hard to justify it when you are failing to win week after week, and it was 19 games in all competitions, 18 of them league contests that Burnley couldn't find the winning points, but Steve Cotterill adamant that their performances were never as bad as the run would suggest, and the way that they have turned it around would suggest that he was correct in that assertion. Picked up by the busy Connolly, but at the same time given away. This is Djemba. Wade Elliott. Steve Jones and Andy Gray. Harley's made the overlapping run, wide on the left for Burnley. Here he is now, John Harley. Jones. Nosworthy for company, and back comes Carlos Edwards to help out. McCann, the teenage Irishman. One of the two changes that Burnley made due to that sickening head injury picked up by James O'Connor against West Bromwich Albion. Free kick here after that challenge from Djemba.
Well, he doesn't get the ball. Watch his left leg. Comes right in there, cross Connolly, takes him away straight away.
Roy Keane will know all about what Eric Djemba can bring to the party. They were club colleagues at Manchester United. This is Sunderland's Player of the Year, voted this week, Nyron Nosworthy. Turn around in his form and also in the position he's been playing, in many ways typifies what Roy Keane has done, getting the best out of the players who were here, as well as bringing in plenty of his own. Nosworthy rewarded with a new contract which will take him up to 2010 at the Stadium of Light. Miller. Whitehead. Murphy's in the middle. And Sunderland have a corner, just listen to that.
Well, they got the benefit of the doubt on that one. The ricochet might have come off Murphy.
The first corner of the evening. Edwards will deliver. And Jensen able to claim in the end. Connolly with the shot.
Well, Brian Jensen shouted to Wayne Thomas, and Wayne Thomas was just hanging around, hanging about, and nearly paid the penalty there.
Drama when these two met back in December. And Burnley looked to be cruising for the 3 points. They were 2-0 up with 10 minutes to play, but Sunderland showed the spirit which they've shown in bucket loads since. Came back in the last 10 minutes. Goals from Leadbitter, who's on the bench, and David Connolly, who's still the top scorer for Sunderland, even though he hasn't scored in the last few games. Murphy, that's an excellent ball, looking to release Whitehead.
Well, we're in for a good game because the pitch is stretched. Sunderland are playing pretty deep, so are Burnley. Plenty of space in midfield for both sides to play.
Whitehead. Anthony Stokes. Chance to get a shot away. He's flashed it wide, Stokes, but interesting how he started out there on the left side of midfield, Chris, where Murphy's been playing in recent weeks. Murphy down the centre.
Yeah, Stokes prefers to play out the middle, but he's going to do a job for his manager. And one thing about him, he'll shoot. He scores goals on sight, doesn't catch that right at all, screws off the outside of his boot.
Still a young man, still to see the best of him here at the Stadium of Light in goal-scoring terms anyway. Blazed a goal-scoring trail in Scotland. 16 goals in 18 games this season he had on loan at Falkirk before he moved here in January. Duff. Gray. Here is Stokes. And his trade at Arsenal, of course, deemed surplus to requirements there. Jones. Interception by Whitehead, but this is McCann, the man who got that dramatic late winner against West Bromwich Albion as Burnley came from 2 goals down. By this stage of that game on Monday, they were already 2 behind to Tony Mowbray's side.
There's going to be a lot of work tonight for both sets of midfield. Edwards, Whitehead, Miller and Stokes on that left-hand side, and Elliott, McCann and Jember and Jones trying to get forward and get back.
Edwards. Caldwell, who's formed a very reassuring central defensive partnership with Wayne Thomas since he made the move from the Stadium of Light. Gray trying to make that run outside Evans, but the teenager is an accomplished customer. Murphy and Stokes. Connolly has made the run into the box. Stokes trying to pick him out. Caldwell's put it behind for a corner.
Well, he wasn't sure, Michael Duff. Wasn't sure which way he was going to go. I think for a minute he thought, well, shall I keep him on his left-hand side? And then he's ducked to the left there and got that cross in. Got a real doubt into Duff's mind now. Can go either way.
Crowd still pouring in here to their Stadium of Light as it gets ever fuller. Trevor Kettle, the referee here tonight, just going to have a word with a couple of those in the thick of things. Jensen is there, the former West Bromwich Albion man, nicknamed the Beast. A little bit of a physical mismatch with Connolly.
Well, he pushed him. What happens? Big Jensen pushed him. He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Don't get involved. The referee's told him once.
Liam Miller. Stokes is across that. Duff stood up well, but Stokes will get the chance to shoot. Connolly's offside.
Well, the crowd thought it was in anyway. It certainly wasn't. On the other side of the post, but he's unlucky because the ricochet, he takes himself offside, miles offside, and it bang comes in there, and he missed the target.
He couldn't stop scoring, could he, between November and March, but they've dried up a little bit for David Connolly recently. Murphy with something to try and get his teeth into.
Well, if you can play tonight, you've got a chance. You've got a chance of really enjoying yourself out there on that pitch, because there's bundles of space.
Gray's the target man. Roy Keane was at Turf Moor on Monday night to run the rule over Burnley, and felt that if they were able to stop Andy Gray, that would go a large way to stopping Burnley's creative play. And we heard Steve Cotterill say earlier how the return to form and fitness of Gray has coincided, non-coincidentally again, with the return to form of Burnley. Here's a chance for Stokes to get forward. Carlos Edwards now for Sunderland, saved by Jensen, and Jones can clear it.
Brilliant goalkeeping, absolutely brilliant goalkeeping. Didn't make up Edwards' mind. Edwards tried to play it through his legs, and the big man got lucky.
Sunderland starting to find their stride.
What a run from Stokes.
Helped on by Murphy, more comfortable this time for the big Dane in the Burnley goal. Whitehead back in that central midfield position, that engine room role that he relishes after filling in for Simpson at right back at Layer Road last week. Connolly and Kenneth Stokes marauding forward, leading the charge for Sunderland. Burnley have halted the flow, but still plenty of work to do. Connolly. Whitehead's in the mix, and it's touched in by Daryl Murphy. Sunderland lead Burnley.
Absolutely magnificent start. It's the start that they wanted. And I think it's John Harley, the man that plays him onside Daryl Murphy. And when he sneaks in from the back, he's got an opportunity just to tuck it away. And didn't he do it beautifully? They didn't relent, Sunderland. They kept at them. The space, watch him. Murphy just ducks in front of John Harley. Harley there puts it up an hand. It's an embarrassing hand. He knows he's made a mistake. And Connolly's ball across the goal is tucked away beautifully. And there's the celebration from the manager. And even more animated by the chairman.
One goal from short range. One giant step in the right direction for Sunderland. Gray. That's Thomas. Jemba. Wade Elliott. McVeigh. Burnley looking to bounce back in the best possible way. That's not a bad cross. And a little bit of confusion between Ward and Nosworthy. Not surprising given the noise levels in here, but Burnley have their corner.
Well, I don't think he can leave it. I think Nosworthy's got to play that ball. His goalkeeper would argue against it and say, well, I gave him a good call, but not sure what was behind him, so deal with it.
The Burnley captain, Caldwell, former Sunderland player, he's in there doing his best to get there, and he's barged into Ward. Sunderland have the free kick.
Well, just watch the knee of Caldwell. The left knee just goes into the goalkeeper. That's enough. Now this is the goal again. Connolly with a beautiful cross, and all he does, he steps in behind John Harley. Harley's played him onside, and he tucked it away beautifully.
Scored some vital goals this season, Daryl Murphy. Remember that late equaliser he got here against Stoke City to save a point? Well, that could be the most important of the lot. Here he is again, Murphy. Elliott back to help out. They're going to need to do a lot of that tonight, Burnley, a sense. Nosworthy. Jemba. Outfought by Whitehead. Stokes. Murphy wants the early ball. Stokes wants the glory.
Well, it's worth an effort. So if he gets a little bit more on it, it causes a problem for Brian Jensen, but not this time. It's easy for the keeper.
throw. Edwards thought he'd done enough. Gray bearing down, they needed Ward off his line quickly, and he was happy to assist.
Great goalkeeping. Get out there and help your defenders out.
Thomas.
Well, it's 300 mile an hour.
Tracking championship stuff, isn't it? Hasn't disappointed so far. Carlos Edwards, one of the bright lights of this division. Previously at Luton and now with Sunderland. What a wonderful ball for Connolly to attack.
Well, as Connolly points towards where he wants the ball from Big Edwards, and he makes sure he puts it right in there, and he's got to try and take it first time. There's nothing else he can do with it. Get his foot round it. It might scream into the top corner. Not this time. He just gets underneath it. Well done by Thomas.
Just the start that Roy Keane and Sunderland wanted. Dominant in terms of attempt, and one of them has proved fruitful. Daryl Murphy's 8th league goal of the season. Well, I think we've got our answer as to how Sunderland would respond to their first defeat of 2007.
They're so sharp, really playing well. As I said, there is room out there to play, but you've still got to have it in you to be able to do it. They've certainly settled already, not fazed by this big crowd at all.
Almost inspired by it, which is exactly what their manager would have been if he was out there. It must be a very reassuring presence at a time like this, having Roy Keane in the dugout, all those trophies at Old Trafford, 7 of them league titles. He knows exactly what's required when the going gets tough in the season running. Simpson looking for Connolly, who is brought down, and it's a penalty kick for Sunderland. Thomas penalised.
Well, he does lean on him, but this is a soft penalty for me. He does lean on him, but whereas what's happening here? Look at that. I mean, how can that be a penalty? Let's be fair. Come on, Mr. Kettle. The ball's away and gone there now. And there's the contact now. Absolutely shocking. Look at Mr. Kettle's position. Well, if they needed a hand, Sunderland, they got one. And they've got one now.
A yellow card for Stephen Caldwell, leading the Burnley chorus of disapproval. From what we've seen, he may have cause to. However, the referee's not going to change his mind, and first yellow card of the night. Well, it was his involvement which won the penalty for Sunderland, David Connolly. And it will fall to the little man with the goal-scoring touch to try and double Sunderland's advantage. Hasn't scored in the last 7 games.
Well, Duff's telling the referee the ball's not right on the spot. Got to change it. Add to the pressure.
Connolly, saved by Jensen. Burnley may well feel that justice has been done.
Well, what a great save by the keeper. You gamble, you go the right way, and then you stick out a big hand, and away it goes.
Giant presence in that Burnley goal, isn't he, Brian Jensen? Sunderland restricted. Carlos Edwards.
Well done to the big fella. Magnificent save. And this is a save because it's in the bottom corner. There's a big lump, but it gets down very sharpish.
A little bit of a comparative stunned silence around the Stadium of Light. Well, they don't often get penalties. That's only their 2nd one of the season.
Well, it may have been game, set and match, but it's not. The one thing Because Burnley are going to come back at them now.
Carlos Edwards.
Look at the tremendous pace this game is played at.
Connolly, chance for him to make amends here. Caldwell across to cut him off at the pass at the expense of a corner.
Well done, Stephen Caldwell, because if he doesn't, his goalkeeper runs into Connolly, and this is another penalty, I'm telling you now. He's got to make a decision, Caldwell. His goalkeeper's on his way, and he's got to play it.
Half of the first half played. Daryl Murphy's goal the difference. Edwards with the corner for Sunderland. Miller.
Well, that face hasn't changed since the game kicked off, apart from a little round of applause when the first goal went in. There's the difference. Cott's animated, kicks every ball, talks to everybody.
He's set a goal for Burnley between now and the end of the season. His first season in charge, Burnley managed a 60-point tally. Was a little bit below that last year, just the 54. They're on 57 now. Want 3 more from their last 2 games to try and at least equal and ideally better it. Up against it here, though, at the Stadium of Light. They're always going to be, but far from out of it just yet.
Well, they're not going to change the way they play now, because there's no point in trying to shut up shop, just go quiet. They're going to go back at Sunderland, keep the game open.
Elliott with the flick on. This is McCann. Murphy. Sunderland snapping and snarling. Burnley have a man down. It's an excellent run forward here by Simpson. Did very well to win the throw as well.
Well, it's McCann who's caught by Dean Whitehead. The follow through after he goes for the ball. The referee close to it as well. He doesn't deem it as a foul. He loses possession just there. Just follows through. Goes right over his ankle. Right through him.
Concern for Burnley. They lost in very concerning circumstances a central midfielder on Monday night, James O'Connor, who is still recovering from that clash of heads with Paul McShane. McShane got the red card, which has since been overturned by the authorities. McCann O'Connor's replacement today, and Steve Cotterill will be hoping that he doesn't need to replace him as well.
Well, Connolly deserves a lot of credit on that left-hand side. Whips his ball across, and just look how nonchalantly he took that away. This is the penalty incident. I mean, it's quite remarkable, really. You wonder where they come from sometimes, but Jensen does a business.
Well, he might have conceded 2 against West Bromwich Albion on Monday night, but before that, after his return to the side, because he was left out for a few weeks, pretty much exemplary. Just the 1 goal conceded in the previous 6 games, and that was the only blip on Burnley's recent landscape. The only time in the last 6 games that they haven't won was a defeat against Leeds United. Well, they're going to try and patch up Chris McCann, temporarily down to 10, and most of those engaged in defending the latest Sunderland attack. Jemba. Evans underneath it.
He's struggling. Chris McCann is struggling. I'd be really surprised if he's able to carry on.
they do have Burnley back on the bench. Joey Goodjohnson, who arrived at the club in January. He's one of the options. He's been out of the side with injury recently and out of favour as well, as he's struggled to regain a bit of fitness.
Well, he's such an honest lad. He's really trying to run it off, is McCann.
Jemba.
He's got absolutely no chance of carrying on. He's really struggling, but to his credit, he's trying his best to run it off.
He had a little bit of run in the side in the last few months, but he's been out for about the last 6 weeks of the first choice lineup. And what a game to return. Got his chance due to others' misfortune, and now it looks like misfortune will strike him. Connolly. And if you're going to give away a free kick, not a bad area to do it.
Just looking at McCann, he can't run, he can't move. So unlucky the lad, he was enjoying himself out there.
Here he is now, McCann.
Moving a bit sweeter, just a little.
Now Elliott. Neither of Burnley's wide players getting the chance to really express themselves. It's stolen back by Elliott there, though. Duff, and now Jemba. McVeigh, fouled by Nosworthy, and it is a free kick for the Clarets.
Yeah, definite foul. It's the change of direction by McVeigh. Just watch him go to the left. Nosworthy wanted him to go the other way.
Well, it is going to be Joey Goodjohnson as the replacement. Young man with a bright future ahead of him in the game. But may well be that his season is prematurely over with just the one game left after this for Burnley. Joey Goodjohnson, after a good 6 weeks out of the side himself, thrown back into the thick of it. Well, he has quite a shot on him as well, so perhaps not a bad time for him to come on.
It'll be an unbelievable first touch. That's one thing for certain.
He looks the favourite to take it. John Harley also in the mix. It will be Joey Goodjohnson, but hasn't quite got his rangefinder set straight yet.
Well, there wasn't a charger. If it was Liam Miller, he'd stand still when he kicks it. It goes the opposite way.
Has been playing his football, Joey Goodjohnson, in Holland with AZ Alkmaar. Harley. Connolly. Andy Gray, straight down the throat of Nosworthy. Joey Goodjohnson, McVeigh. Well, Miller was all over Joey Goodjohnson, and he's got the free kick he was looking for, the man from Iceland.
He's not happy, because he would have been clear. That's why he's having a pop at the referee. Jemba just beginning to take charge in that midfield. You can see the ball for 25 minutes, and the last 5 minutes he's just started to win a few challenges.
Caldwell's going to take this one. His central defensive partner Wayne Thomas among the Burnley aerial threat, and it's Thomas there looking to pick out. Kept alive by Duff. Here is Wayne Thomas. Terrific touch away for Sunderland by Danny Collins. Jemba getting the better of Connolly. Now Goodjohnson. Burnley enjoying as good a spell at the moment as they have done in the match so far.
Well, they played at such pace for the first 25 minutes. Sunderland, well, they're probably just having a little breather, sucking in a bit of air. The opposition were always going to have a chance because it is a footballing pitch. There's plenty of space, as I've said before.
Nosworthy. This is Murphy.
Just one or two options that they had to play the ball forward are not there now for Sunderland.
They have had a bit more of the play, like we were saying, as Sunderland have taken something of a breather, but still not really got their front players going. Very early offside flag up there against David Connolly.
That's big Wayne Thomas. He's looking across the line because he's the man who's marking Connolly, and he's thinking, right, he's offside, but is it his centre-half partner, Stephen Colwell? Well, may well have just played him on.
Gray. Jones. John Harley.
Well, they'll be quite happy, Sunderland, because at the moment everything's just in front of them. There's nothing in behind. Gray's not getting in behind and running at them. Neither is McVeigh. So it's not too much of a concern, even though they've got a bit more of the ball than they would like.
Whitehead. Bravely by Connolly. And a chance for Murphy to break forward here. It's Murphy again, away by Jensen. Nearly came back for Connolly. Carlos Edwards, what can he do? Looking to tee it up for Miller, and he's put it wide.
Well, he's too careful with it, Miller. When he sets it up for him there, Edwards, but there's great opportunity. Just look at his first touch that takes him away from everybody. Harley thinks about the challenge and thinks, no, I'm not getting involved. The referee's already given one, he won't give another. I'll trust me big goalkeeper. And then Miller with that side footer, great save again by the big man. He's been colossus in that goal for Burnley, and look at that, he's just trying to play it round people rather than give it a good thump. Liam Miller.
Well, if you're going to get something at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland side in the sort of form that they are, then you're going to need a big game from your goalkeeper, and so far Jensen's fulfilling that brief. A penalty save from Connolly, and doing his bit elsewhere as well. Might need to do a little bit more here. It's Carlos Edwards, and Jensen again, right up to the mark.
Magnificent goalkeeper. His starting position was excellent there, because even though Carlos Edwards was there, he was never going to get there after the touch from Harley.
Collins. That's a free kick against Thomas and Burnley.
He is a handful, Murphy.
Edwards, he's pulled away from Harley. Joeka Johnson, just there in the nick of time, wasn't he? And now Jemba. McVeigh. To the Cameroon international. Who can find Steve Jones, the man from Northern Ireland. Harley. Gray getting no change out of Nosworthy, and it's back in the hands of the men in red and white. Duff. Jemba, that's an excellent ball for Elliott to chase. Ward is out, there's contact, and there is a penalty kick for Burnley.
Well, I have to say once again, yeah, exactly, I'm the same as you, Wardy. You got a touch on the ball there as he touched it forward, and he's saying the referee's made the decision, it should be the assistant who makes it. But Jemba has been excellent in his last 15 minutes. What a wonderful pass that is through to Elliott. Where's the fingertips on the ball, and then the contact with Elliott afterwards. Watch the contact, the linesman and the assistant looking across that line. It's fingertips for me with Ward on that ball, and then Elliott goes down. Let's have a look. Does Elliott touch the ball? Elliott touches the ball, that's for certain. Does Ward touch the ball? That's inconclusive at the moment. But for me, I think he got a little fingertips on it.
All just a case of history repeating itself. Question marks over the penalty kick awarded to Sunderland. They missed that. Burnley now have their chance from the spot. And Andy Gray, who spent a painful season here at the Stadium of Light last year before joining Burnley, is going to try to be the man to convert it. Gray with 3 goals in his last 2 games in the claret of Burnley. And he has levelled it up. It is 1-1 at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland peg back.
Well, as cool as you like from Andy Gray, because he is getting absolutely slaughtered by those Sunderland fans behind that goal, all willing the ball away from the goal. And how cool is this when he walks up to this? Well, let's have a look at it once again. Was it or wasn't it? Does he get anything on it, Ward? There's the touch from Elliott. Where's the fingertips of Ward? Still inconclusive from that angle. Benefit of the doubt to the officials at the moment. And look at that for a cool pen. Easy as they come, just rolls it into the corner, and Ward goes the opposite way.
A tale of 2 penalties on Wearside. We knew Sunderland wouldn't have it all their own way against one of the Championship's in-form sides in Burnley, and so it's proved. They have a battle on their hands. And Burnley now have the bit between their teeth as well. McVeigh, strong-armed off it by Nosworthy. A free kick.
Well, now can they handle the pressure? They were taken over, that was one thing. Burnley, Jemba was running the game. It was his magnificent ball to Elliott in the first place. And now can Sunderland handle the pressure? Already Nosworthy, that's a rash challenge.
Joey Johnson. Elliott as Sunderland reorganise. Away by Danny Collins. Miller, who picked up a yellow card in the penalty melee. Ian Miller. Andy Gray back there to win it back for Burnley. Joey Johnson. Nosworthy in ahead of McVeigh. We have a match on our hands now.
Well, they're more than a match for Sunderland now. The seed of doubt is in there. And also the aggression, the willingness to run, chase, see what they can get out of this game.
Evans. This is Collins. Caldwell. Well, we mentioned, didn't we, how this former Sunderland vein coursing through the Burnley side might yet be a factor, and Andy Gray with the coolest of penalties under very testing conditions. Having Steve Cotterill, the former Sunderland assistant, plenty to smile about as we approach half-time.
I always give my opinion when I see something live, and I thought when I saw it live that the goalkeeper touched it, and there you are, conclusive. Ward's hands did get on the ball.
Well, they had much of it going their own way, and that was through their own doing, Sunderland, the way they started off the match at such a good pace, got that goal through Murphy, and they got a penalty maybe a little bit controversially in the way that was awarded, but they failed to take it, and that seemed to give Burnley belief. Gray got the header on, out comes Ward. Really fell back to Andy Gray as well, but here a chance for Carlos Edwards to break if he can get there ahead of Harley.
Now Roy Keane will be looking around at 1 or 2, just saying, look, get back to how you started, don't change the game plan, let's get back to that tempo that we started. Whereas Steve Cotterill will look at his team and he'll be absolutely delighted now. Tighter at the back, running the midfield. Might just want a bit more from the front too.
And he's got a goalkeeper at the top of his game as well. Let's not forget that when Sunderland have threatened, Hysén has had the answers. Murphy. Simpson. Well, Carlos Edwards gone down off the ball. Those are the cheers from the Sunderland supporters.
Big Stephen Caldwell just accidentally tripped him on purpose.
Collins. Stokes. Sunderland are going to rediscover their fluency of earlier on.
Well, they've got character, that's one thing we know about them.
Carlos Edwards. Look, for a second he might get the better of Harley. We've got 4 minutes added on to the first 45. We have Nosworthy. Great burst forward this is. Burnley with plenty back. Simpson. One for Connolly to attack. As Murphy who got that.
That's a terrific ball. It's not easy for Dean Whitehead when this ball comes across to try and edge it into the far corner.
Reminder that tomorrow from noon there's a live Premiership race for the title doubleheader. Manchester United's visit to Everton on Sky Sports 1 and HD1, and you can also see Chelsea against Bolton on Sky Sports 3 and HD2. See both matches simultaneously with the split screen option as well. Get that through the red button. It's the men in claret coming forward here. Elliott, he's put it wide.
Top the shoulder brilliantly there. Good Wade Elliott.
Angled in towards Caldwell. Away by Evans. Jemba, it's terrific play.
How strong is he, by the way, Jemba.
Here's Jemba. Floated in by Duff. Nosworthy got a glance. Joey Johnson. And Edwards can clear. It's Sunderland who finished this first half on the back foot, no doubt about that. We're into the last minute of added time. And Murphy has conceded a free kick on Joey Johnson.
He just takes his legs away. Just watch him whip him underneath. Might not have even touched him, but as he stuck out that leg, Joey saw it coming.
Caldwell. Well, Thomas got in there, but contact on the goalkeeper.
What on earth has Thomas done wrong there? Absolutely nothing. Giving the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt, maybe, because he missed the penalty. He missed him touching the ball for the penalty, I should say.
Collins. Well, a night that started so positively for Sunderland has become a little bit unclear in terms of where exactly it's heading.
It's been a tremendous first half. Sunderland had the first part of it. Burnley have certainly had the second half of it.
Well, the 4 minutes of added time are up now. Roy Keane straight off with some big talking to do at half-time, and the talking point here at the Stadium of Light in the first half, the decisions made by the referee Trevor Kettle. He gave a penalty against Burnley, which was then missed by David Connolly. More saved by Hysén, though. It was terrific contribution from the Big Dane. And at the other end, he gave a penalty against Darren Ward when the Sunderland goalkeeper appeared to get just enough on the ball. Burnley didn't need a second invitation, and the former Sunderland man, Andy Gray, levelled it up after Murphy had given Sunderland the lead. The Black Cats not having it all their own way by any state of the imagination. Half-time, Sunderland 1, Burnley 1.
How nerve-wracking is this? Not just for Sunderland and 45,000 fans here, but for Birmingham City and Derby County as well, watching on. The views of Don Goodman coming right up in a first half which has been left at 1-1, and it could be out of Sunderland's hands if the draw remains the scoreline. It was Sunderland with the lead early on, but then a tale of two penalties, one missed by Sunderland, one scored by Burnley. Tomorrow from noon, a live Premiership race for the title doubleheader. Manchester United's visit to Everton is on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And there's Chelsea against Bolton on Sky Sports 3 and HD2. You can see both these matches simultaneously with our split screen option available through the red button on Sky Sports 1. Here at the Stadium of Light, the referee's been well involved in the first half. Case of two penalties, and both of them were controversial, but it's Sunderland 1, Burnley 1. Daryl Murphy for Sunderland, Andy Gray penalty for Burnley. Back to our commentators, Chris Kamara and Bill Leslie.
40 games in charge of Sunderland now in the league for Roy Keane. 45 minutes, which could well dictate whether Sunderland need the lottery of the playoffs in order to bounce back to the Premiership at the first time of asking. A reminder of what it all means. A win will take them to the summit, with Birmingham at home against Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow and Derby County at Crystal Palace on Sunday. If they can win here and Derby fail to win on Sunday, then Sunderland will be promoted. Burnley, though, haven't read that particular script. Very plain to see that.
Well, they're a credit to the manager tonight. They're a credit to all the teams in the league where they've said, well, we come here, we'll give it our best shot. It's about us, it's not about whether Sunderland end up in the Premiership if they win. It's about us here putting on a performance so nobody can look back at us and say, well, they didn't give it a go. They've certainly done that. Just makes a nonsense of all the people who say, well, they've got nothing to play for. Of course they've got things to play for. They've got season tickets to play for next season. Got ambitions and hopes that they don't have a 19-game losing run. They could have been in the playoffs.
I know that's the feeling of Burnley. They look at the likes of Colchester and Sheffield Wednesday, who've started their runs at just the right time to get into the playoff mix-up, and Burnley feel if only they'd stopped the run a little bit earlier, they might be there themselves. Here comes Sunderland through Miller. Taken off the toes of Murphy by his former teammate Caldwell.
Just chose the wrong option there, did Liam Miller. One pass he shouldn't have played. He had Connolly, he had Stokes to his left.
Both team and support here at the Stadium of Light started the match nervelessly as the first half went on, so the nerves started to grow. What sort of Sunderland will we see early on here in the second half? Positive early signs as they win the corner.
That's always a good sign. An early corner gets a crowd going straight away. Well, interesting fact already is Burnley don't have anybody on the near post or the far post.
Stokes to provide a bit of an angle for Carlos Edwards. Thomas tried to get there, he hasn't. Jensen has.
Well, he's been excellent. Clear shout there. There was no confusion between him and Good Johnson.
Carlos Edwards. It's fallen kindly for McVeigh, who will seek Gray. Mixed reception for Andy Gray, to say the least. Burnley's goal scorer, Elliott.
Well, they didn't boo him, they didn't do anything in the first half when he hadn't scored. As soon as he scored, that's it. That was the cue.
Now public enemy number one. Duff closed down well by Stokes, who has a chance to surge into opposition territory. This is a great run by young Anthony Stokes. Decided to go for the headlines himself.
Well, that's one thing he'll get out of his game as he gets older, more experience. The shooting on sight policy, when he draws people out, he's got to play people in.
Edwards, Connolly has it, appeals for handball.
Well, he's late reacting, that assistant on the far side. I don't think there's any doubt when he cushions both of his hands together that that ball bounces off him. But just watch, we'll see from the angle, if we can see the assistant in shot, that he's very, very late in putting the flag up once again. Just watch him. Initially, when the ball comes in, there it is. Al went late as the flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps before he lifts the flag.
Jason Tobias is the referee's assistant on the far side, having a significant role to play in proceedings. That's Elliott! Oh, goodness me! A firecracker from Wade Elliott! And Sunderland trail Burnley!
Oh, what a magnificent goal. What a brilliant goal. This is a strike among strikes, I can assure you. When Wade Elliott hits this ball, only he knows where it's going, because it's heading towards the top corner. Watch his first touch, and then he strikes the ball on his second touch. Bang! Just hits the outside of his boot. It's swerving away. The goalkeeper doesn't stand a chance whatsoever. Just look at the spin and the drift on the ball. There it goes, outside of the right boot. Look at that, you beauty! Top corner.
A stunner, which has stunned the Stadium of Light. Burnley tearing up their own form, but the first time since October that they have scored 2 away from home. 5 months since Sunderland have lost back-to-back games in the league. They're facing the very real possibility of ending that run. The stiffest of examinations for the Black Cats just got a whole load more difficult.
As you said, certainly quiet in the crowd. Got to start getting behind their team. There's a long way to go. Long way to go. There are times as a manager when you just sit there and you think, well, we could do nothing about that. George Burley did it when Sunderland went to Southampton, and it's Roy Keane's turn for the moment.
For Burnley, that's now 8 goals they've scored in the last 3 games. He says it in his programme notes tonight as well, Roy Keane. Why is it that they have had the tendency in recent weeks to come up against the sides who've just hit good spells of form? QPR, who had that awful run of form, pulled out of that and came here, very nearly got something here in the last home game. Here's Murphy to level it up for Sunderland.
Oh, it's a brilliant challenge from Caldwell. Mr. Kettle, you've got to make the decisions you see. It's in front of you. Absolutely amazing. So disappointing. They're out there, big games like this, and they don't see things happening. What a magnificent challenge from Caldwell. Absolutely brilliant. Just watch him. His feet comes across, gets in the way, off the end of his boot, up and over.
An evening of frustration for Sunderland so far.
Well, you can't keep getting decisions wrong. You can't do it. He did it in the first half. He'd have had time to assess things, and now the second half, he's got to be exemplary, and he hasn't started that way.
Collins. Miller. Edwards in space. And they've spotted him. What a great ball in. The Carlos Edwards! Jensen goes to ground, and it's another penalty. The third of the night. And that time, I don't think there can be too many complaints.
Well, Liam Miller, what a ball this is to Carlos Edwards. Absolutely the stuff that absolutely wins you football matches. It's brilliant from Miller, and the take from Carlos Edwards is even better. Harley thinks he's got this. I'll just deal with it. No, you haven't. It's over the top of your head. The first touch is brilliant. The goalkeeper comes out. He doesn't have to make any contact because he's never ever going to get the ball. It's only the slightest contact, but Edwards plays for it, comes across him, over the goalkeeper's shoulders. Stonewaller.
Now look at this. David Connolly, who's missed a penalty already. With Sunderland trailing, has a spot kick to level things up. No doubt about that one. David Connolly has Sunderland back at 2-2.
What a magnificent strike. Well, the goalkeeper's tried to psych him out this time because he's thinking, right, you're going to change the way that you went the first time. This time I'm going to go the opposite way, see if you play it in there. No, you didn't. He changes it brilliantly and sticks it in. The reaction from the chairman says it all, and the manager says, well, we're drawing. 2-2.
Well, the stakes couldn't really be higher for Sunderland at the moment. They saw automatic promotion for the first time in some weeks start to drift out of their own control. Nerves of steel from Connolly, who, remember, hasn't scored in 7 games before tonight. Had seen Jensen save a penalty from him in the first half. He went for power, and boy, did he connect with it. Offside flag up against Connolly.
All of a sudden, a new lease of life in their legs. The fans are up for it once again. The desire and the passion is back in abundance.
And when times get nervy and you've got a crowd of 40-45,000, you're feeling the nerves with them. Can get a little bit edgy, but when they're on your side, as they are again now, right behind the men in red and white stripes, it's formidable. Jemba. Jones. Free kick for Burnley.
Another appeal for everything now. That ball and the tempo will be as high as it possibly been since the game started now.
Jemba. Won back by Whitehead. Dean Whitehead looking to pick out Carlos Edwards again. In by Simpson.
Couldn't generate enough power there, Murphy. Just got a bit ragged at Burnley. The crowd can sense it as well. This is our chance.
Well, Steve Cotterill is ready to make his second substitution. The first, you might remember, enforced on him due to that injury to Chris McCann in the first half. The imposing figure of Andy Akinbai down there on the touchline, about to come on. There's Danny Collins, Dean Whitehead, starting to get a control of proceedings in the heart of midfield again. Simpson, this is a wonderful run forward by the young fullback. Miller. Carlos Edwards. Liam Miller, whose ball started the move, which led to Sunderland's second penalty of the night. Collins.
Well, they give him a little chasing once again. Playing at such a high tempo. Once again, Burnley cannot get near the ball.
Andy Akinbai, who started the last couple of games, but found himself coming on again from the bench. Jemba. They're starting to find Carlos Edwards with regularity, and Edwards starting to find his feet. Jensen tips it round the post.
Well, he's such a good player, isn't he, Carlos Edwards? As you said, they've found him plenty of times in the second half. You never know which way the ball's going with him. He can't take any chances there, Jensen.
Caldwell can clear. Plenty of things the natives around here are calling the kettle. Some controversial decisions from him. The one that counted allowed them a route back into the game.
Not calling the kettle a back cat.
Connolly. Carlos Edwards. The main man is starting to make it happen for Sunderland. Just taken off the toes of David Connolly. Akinbai.
He's just come on. Let's give him the benefit.
This is Stokes.
There was never a doubt about this penalty. Big Jensen come out that time, was never getting there. And then David Connolly picked himself up. But don't worry about it, lads, I won't miss this one. He missed it though.
It's that sort of a night, isn't it? And something tells you that the drama's not over yet, not by a long shot. Still around half an hour to play here.
Well, they haven't been able to breathe, Burnley, since that penalty winning. One thing they did in the first half is got to grip of the game. The longer it went on. So they're in for another rocky 5 or 10 minutes before that happens, if it goes in the same pattern as the first half.
Gray got the header on. Collins able to divert it back to Ward. Miller. Good composure from the young man in the heart of the Sunderland midfield. Andy Gray has a willing runner to his right in Duff. By in the centre, Gray in space. What a brilliant challenge that was from Whitehead. Good Johnson. Well, he seemed to be caught a little bit after the ball had gone by Simpson, and Trevor Kettle's given the free kick.
As you said, what a challenge that was from Dean Whitehead. He's just about to pull the trigger, Andy Gray, and look at that for an interception.
Just a sort of example that Roy Keane will be looking for his captain to set.
Or if he's about to make any sort of changes, the one I know you're looking at is Stokes on that left-hand side. Might be the change.
And Sunderland certainly possess the capability in their side to cause problems by this. Burnley with Jemba and Good Johnson, international class.
Well, it can only be Joey Good Johnson. The referee's not interested in getting the ball back 10 yards. He said let them stay where they are.
This time there certainly were charges for Good Johnson's free kick, unlike the one where he just came on in the first half. Duff, Jemba.
It very rarely works when the ball's only 8 yards away and you have a touch. The chances of you getting through it are virtually zilch.
John Harley.
Just pointing the finger at Dean Whitehead, saying you're very fortunate that came back off the boards.
The target here is Duff, who's made the journey forward from full-back.
Just a little bit late is Duff. When Collins heads the ball, just goes into the back of him.
Duff back in a more familiar defensive role. And Elliott. Adrenaline will still be coursing through his veins after that spectacular second for Burnley. Which put them in front here for the first time tonight.
Well, they're showing their character once again, Burnley. You're right, we've seen enough of you for the last 10 minutes. We're going to have a bit of the ball.
Elliott dance beyond the challenge of Collins, and this looks promising. McVeigh. Touched away by Ward. He just did enough.
It's a great little ball back in from McVeigh. An absolute beauty, because Andy Gray and Akinbaye are in there. Look at them right on top of the goalkeeper and his fingertips to get it away.
Not the tallest of goalkeepers, is he, Darren Ward, but he needed to use every single outstretched sinew there to get it away for this Burnley corner. Elliott will take it, an added element of strength in there, and Adi Akinbaye. Here's Joey Good Johnson.
Well, he's got two great feet, Joey Good Johnson. He hits a thunderous ball with either foot, and the concentration on the ball is absolutely brilliant. To take that first time like he does would have caused problems if it had been on target.
Connolly looking for the run of Stokes, which was blocked off by Caldwell.
Well, you'll probably see this 50 times in a game. Very rarely gets a free kick. You just run across the front of somebody. Well done to the referee. It is a foul, so he hasn't done anything wrong in that situation. But Caldwell just thinks, can't believe he spotted it.
Carlos Edwards has come across. Looks like it's going to be the man from Trinidad and Tobago to take this.
Well done, the keeper. Took the pressure off that situation brilliantly.
This is good, Johnson. McVeigh. It was spectacular, but in the end...
Well, it has to be a foul on Akinbaye in the first place. Dean Whitehead it was. He came sliding, just watch Addy getting towards the ball, and Dean Whitehead slides in, collides with him, brings him to the ground, nothing given. Hysén, how can it not be a foul? Oh, this is the screamer. What a brilliant goal from Wade Elliott. You just don't save those, not at all. And this is the great skill from Edwards. He gets the penalty. Where are you, keeper? And over he goes. And as cool as you like. He's missed one, he wasn't going to miss the next.
And largely thanks to his contribution, Sunderland back level. But will it be enough? In Championship table terms, it will take Sunderland level with Birmingham on points, but Derby, if they win at Palace on Sunday, will be able to leapfrog them. Another critical afternoon in the Championship, and we have it live for you. Palace against Derby from 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. Here comes Sunderland. Murphy back to Carlos Edwards. Jemba back to do some defending in his own area. Miller. Sailed up beautifully there, but Thomas was able to clear. Sunderland trying to pile on a bit of pressure. Whitehead. Connolly. Miller.
Well, the movement was good. The shot wasn't as good. They don't beat that big fella with shots like that.
McVeigh. This is Andy Gray. There goes Adi Akinbaye. Stokes, whose number is nearly up. Tobias Hysén looks like he's going to come on any moment now to replace Stokes.
I wouldn't like to second guess Roy Keane, but for me he was the obvious choice to come off.
It's not been easy to second guess sometimes this season, most of the time in fact, with the team selection. Keeps the players on their toes, doesn't he, by constantly shuffling his pack.
Well, they know then when they get an opportunity they've got to perform.
Elliott. It is the end of Anthony Stokes' night. Two players who hit the headlines earlier on in the season when they missed the Sunderland bus to Barnsley and were left behind, swap places. This Just to be a night where Sunderland missed the bus in terms of stealing a march on their rivals. We'll wait and see. Just under 20 minutes to go, and they're being held by Burnley. Andy Gray. Back comes Miller.
They've weathered the storm again. For me, Burnley, they're well back in this game again. It could go either way.
Connolly giving Murphy something to chase. McVeigh on loan from Norwich City and looking like he means business. Ward able to turn it round the post. Was severely troubled by McVeigh.
Well, the problem he's got, it just bounces in front of him, and when it does that, he's already committed to the dive, and then he's got to get a hand up very, very quickly.
Elliott with Burnley's corner. What a good take by Darren Ward. Nosworthy on the charge.
Well, he's normally a marauding right back, isn't he? And he's thinking, right, we've got enough players back there. I'll be the one to keep the momentum going, keep the pace of the game shuffling along.
Speaking of shuffling things, both managers making changes. I need to change the batteries in the fourth officials board as well. There we go. Wade Elliott, what a wonderful contribution for him to silence the Stadium of Light.
Well, he won't forget, in front of 45,000 at the Stadium of Light, his best ever goal of his career.
And his replacement, a man who's already scored a significant goal in recent weeks. John Spicer scored the winner when Burnley won at Birmingham. Liam Miller is the man withdrawn for Sunderland. And they send on the man who's proved to be their trump card so often in recent weeks. We saw him score a late spectacular to win it at Southampton. He's done it again against Queen's Park Rangers. Boy, do they need him now, Sunderland. Duff having to track back. Hysén. More an out-and-out wide man to ask a few questions of Duff. Murphy. Duff stood strong. Akinbay's underneath this one.
Leadbitter's a player who can score a goal out of nothing. Roy Keane knows that. He's a good sub. People who can turn a game when they come on. Leadbitter's one of those.
Well, you wouldn't know if he was 2-0 up, 2-0 down, or as it is now with the score locked at 2-2. Pressure for Caldwell.
He didn't get any help at all from his teammates there. Undecided what to do. At the end, just put it out of play and let's regroup.
Murphy. They've got away with it. Thomas can hack it clear. Leadbitter.
Well, as I said about Joey Good-Johnson, he's another fella, Leadbitter, who can hit screamers. And you think, well, maybe you shouldn't strike it from there, you should have a touch. But we've seen them going from that lad from that distance.
Well, we're well into the last quarter of an hour of the match now, and over the season it has been where Sunderland have had the say so often. 1 in every 3 of the goals they've scored has come in the last 15 minutes of matches. Johnson helps it on. Collins. Here's Tobias Hysén. Blocked off by Duff. And a yellow card will follow for the Burnley fullback.
They're beaten by skill. What's the touch? Committed to the challenge. To the last one, keep it away from Big Jensen.
It's congested, it's competitive, and Trevor Kettle just trying to keep a lid on things.
So we're big mates, really.
Whitehead curling and invitingly and powerfully away by Andy Gray of all people. Thomas this time took control. And this is Jemba to Sikak in by. Jonny Evans, the young Northern Ireland international. Whitehead. Carlos Edwards.
Well, there's some balls not even he can deal with. Give me a chance.
They were looking for the combination of the two players who made the Championship PFA team of the season, Whitehead and Carlos Edwards. This is Duff. Beyond Hysén. Burnley providing just the sort of stern test that their recent form suggested that they would. Duff. (3-2) of course in the last game that Burnley were involved in some 5 days ago. Murphy. Sunderland still with plenty of work to do. Here comes Carlos Edwards. Edwards goes for the spectacular and finds it and then some. That is a goal of so much significance and so much beauty. Sunderland lead Burnley 3-2, and their march to the Premiership is back on track.
What a brilliant goal that is. Absolutely fantastic. It starts with Hysén in the left-back position, then it moves on to Leadbitter, then Murphy picks it up. He's waiting for the Rolls-Royce, running down that right-hand side, and here it comes. It arrives right on cue, and if you give him half a yard like he is given to cock that right leg of his and put his strike in like Joey Good-Johnson does, you're going to expect what's going to happen, because that's going to happen. Top draw, absolutely magnificent, and that's the most animated we've seen him tonight. And the chairman can't believe it.
The dream is back on. Well, we've said it many times, haven't we? No one in this division knows how to do things the easy way. Easy way or hard way, it looks like Sunderland may well have it their own way. The third goal, which could potentially deliver the 3 points to take them back to the top of the pile, with Birmingham and Derby to play in the next 48 hours.
This evening's attendance, 44,448. Thank you for your fantastic support.
Akinbai. Make no mistake, Burnley are not going to sit back and accept this. We're in for a barnstorming finale. At the end of what has been another exceptional evening in the Championship. So many debates, haven't there been, in recent weeks about which is the best league in the world in terms of quality, in terms of the most exciting. Most of the managers involved in the Championship seem to think that this is where it's at, and the way that events have panned out tonight and over the last few days, you think back to Turf Moor on Monday night, Molineux last Sunday. Hard to argue with the drama we're having in the closing stages of this season. Akinbai. Simpson. He's worked hard, and the young man's looking a little bit weary. Sure, he's not the only one out there either. Duff. Caldwell in a cauldron of noise in the Stadium of Light. Edwards can't keep that in.
Oh, what a talent he is. What a magnificent talent.
What a show of support. Just under 45,000 in here tonight. The talking to for Carlos Edwards, who, remember, was booked for the goal celebration. He's kicked the ball away, and he's going to be a lucky boy if Trevor Kettle doesn't apply the letter of the law, and he doesn't.
Well, I can't believe Joey Goodjohnson asking him to go. Asking him to send him. There's the ball, it's gone. I know Joey wants to get on with it, but Burnley have got enough in their locker to get themselves back in this.
Also got time as well, 6.5 minutes plus whatever's added on for stoppages. A night of 5 goals, of 3 penalties, of end-to-end drama, full commitment, and we're not done yet. Leadbitter. Still going, Grant Leadbitter. That's a tremendous challenge by Thomas to halt his forward momentum. Spicer dawdled on it. They're looking for the free kick, Sunderland. They won't get it. Undered on by Nosworthy. McVeigh and Joey Goodjohnson. Akinbai. Spicer. Good anticipation by Nosworthy to steal in ahead of his former teammate Andy Gray. He slipped by Caldwell. And Sunderland could be able to capitalise. It's Murphy going for the winner.
Well, it opened up for him. You thought he was going to take it. Stephen Caldwell had 2 opportunities to clear this. That was the first one. Here's the second one. He hung out a leg. Watch him try and get back the best as he possibly can. He's got no help from Thomas. I don't even know what Thomas was doing. He ducked away from the challenge, and it just went wide.
Connolly, who showed so much character, having missed the penalty, to step up and take the second. Dispatched it in no uncertain terms as well. To level the score at 2-2. Off he goes, and on comes Stern-John. Should be able to provide a nice cool head up front with plenty of experience turned on to guide Sunderland across the finishing line here. They know if they can hold on here and win away next week at Luton, Sunderland will be back in the Premiership. They also know that if they hold on here and Derby slip on Sunday, then they'll be up anyway. Such is the significance of these closing stages. As always in the Championship this season, lots of ifs and buts in there as well. Biggest league crowd here in around 2 years, making themselves heard. Launched in by Duff. It's a terrific effort, isn't it? Almost exactly 20,000 more than we're here for the first game that Roy Keane came here to look on from the stands as the Black Caps beat West Bromwich Albion. The growth of Sunderland this season in every single aspect of the club.
The players on the pitch have had tremendous support tonight.
Edwards curls it in. Daryl Murphy. Just where Sunderland want to be at this stage. Stern John! And it trickles agonisingly wide for Sunderland.
What magnificent body strength from Stern John. Great play by Murphy. He gets the ball into him, and look at that, the power and the strength. Caldwell's behind him, but he might as well not be because he's getting away from him. Agonising for the chairman.
They can't relax just yet, Sunderland. Jemba showing his strength.
Tried to play the advantage, Mr. Kettle.
They know that it's not over yet, although we're in the last 30 seconds of normal time. Joey Gudjonsson, Thomas forward there. What a brave header that was by Evans. And here comes Carlos Edwards. Looking for key factors in the way that Sunderland have turned this round and come from 2-1 down. You have to look no further than Carlos Edwards, the architect of their second penalty of the night and the scorer of what looks like it'll be their winning goal. 4 very long minutes for Sunderland to negotiate. Sunderland so close to signing off what has been an extraordinarily successful season in so many ways, with a home win in their last home game.
Roy Keane wouldn't expect him to throw it away now, but
here comes Tobias Hysén. Sunderland still looking to seal it. Hysén for Carlos Edwards. Jensen with a tremendous stop.
What an engine this fellow Edwards has got on him. 1 minute he's back defending, the next minute he's in attack. Hysén's ball is brilliant because he knows he's going to be arriving at some stage. Just took it back in there, and there he is, right on cue. And big Jensen to the rescue once again. Oh no, can't believe it, what's going on?
Sunderland's corner. You almost forget in all the drama that has ensued what a wonderful contribution, wonderful night that Jensen has had for Burnley, particularly in the first half when they were really up against it in the opening stages, saving that penalty, of course, from Connolly.
He's had a good night shift, Jemba. Steve Cotterill certainly got him back playing to his best.
He played any football, had he, at Aston Villa, Jemba. 5 substitute appearances in the last 2 seasons. It's been a gallant and worthy Burnley performance. It's come close. Too close for comfort at times for Sunderland. With 90 seconds remaining, time is running out for them to spring a surprise. This is exactly the way they want to play out this stoppage time. They've kept Burnley back in their own half for most of it. Hysén. There's only one name on the lips of the Sunderland supporters, and that is the manager here, who's breathed new life into the club and got the crowds flocking back through the gates. Jemba's going to be in trouble, a yellow card for him. Highly competitive individual, and frustration getting the better of him.
This isn't going to go in the box, is it? Going to see another little tussle out on the left.
Another yellow card for Joey Johnson, who's no stranger to those during his time at English football. Well, the 4 minutes are up, and so is the game nearly for Burnley. John attacks it. Thomas stood up well. Leadbitter, chance for a virtuoso effort from him.
Well, I would imagine this will be the last attack. I'll be surprised if the ball gets past the halfway line after big goalie kicks it.
The biggest cheer that you will hear on Wearside all season. Sunderland have signed off at home with a win, and they have gone back to the top of the Coca-Cola Championship. The transformation of this football club under Roy Keane, so nearly complete, from bottom of the Championship to the very doorstep of the Premiership. If they win their final game at Carlos Edwards' former club, Luton Town, then Sunderland are a Premiership club once again after a 12-month absence. And it was Carlos Edwards who went so far to turning this game back in Sunderland's favour after they went 2-0 down. A game that had everything, and it's been a run for Sunderland, which has had everything as they have rediscovered that winning formula after a very rare defeat. The champions' banners are up, and who can argue? Well, it's over to you, Birmingham, it's over to you, Derby, to see what you do in the next 48 hours. Sunderland have certainly done their bit. They have seen off Burnley on a highly dramatic, high-octane evening at the Stadium of Light, winning by 3-2.
Another truly amazing game in the Championship. The last three we've brought you have finished with 5 goals in them. Odd goals in 5, winning each of the last 3 games in the Championship. Absolutely amazing. And Sunderland have done their bit now going into this weekend. They can start dreaming of derby games against Newcastle United, against Middlesbrough again next season. And what of Old Trafford and Roy Keane a few yards from Sir Alex in the dugouts in games against Manchester United? You can start thinking about all those now, because Sunderland are 1 game away from the Premiership. It could even happen now on Sunday. What an achievement by Sunderland Football Club, led by Nyron at the top, Roy Keane, his appointment as manager, and those wonderful fans, 45,000 just on at the Stadium of Light. We'll get the views of Don Goodman. It's been a breathtaking evening at the Stadium of Light. Let's see the table and how it stands immediately now this evening, with the rest of the weekend's fixtures have come to course. Birmingham home to Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow. Derby away to Crystal Palace on Sunday. Sunderland have gone top of the table, 85 points. If Derby lose on Sunday, a game which is live on Sky Sports, then Sunderland will be up. Even a point will probably be good enough to send Sunderland up if Derby only draw, because of that goal difference of 8 between Sunderland and Derby County. Burnley in 50th still, 57 points, but they've played their part this evening. No one can doubt their performance. Birmingham and Derby County got their money's worth out of Burnley this evening. And that game I was referring to, which could settle many things, takes place on Sunday. If Birmingham win tomorrow, Derby lose, they'll be up as well. But Derby County have something to say about it. Crystal Palace Sunday, 1 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. And then, well, we have the race for the title. Tomorrow, from noon, a live Premiership race for the title doubleheader. Manchester United's visit to Everton is on Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And there's Chelsea against Bolton on Sky Sports 3 and HD2. You can see both these matches simultaneously with our split screen option available through the red button on Sky Sports 1. Magnificent night for Sunderland. We'll get the views of Don Goodman very shortly on that, and hear from the protagonist this evening as Sunderland go back to the top of the table. Burnley thought they had it in the bag. Another scalp for them, but it wasn't to be. Sunderland, irresistible.